My name is Michael Akintunde. Remember, this program is supervised by Mr. Steve Otaloro. My guest this afternoon is Chief Mrs. Olamide Falana, the Executive Director, Girls to Women Research and Development Center. She is also a chieftain of the APC in Ondo State. Good to have you in the studios of Adaba FM.
Thank you very much, Mike.
I was surprised when I had you chief. You never invited me for your coronation.
Don't worry, we'll organize a party for media friends, to rejoice and have some fun with us.
Okay, we're going to talk about your chieftaincy title later, not now.
All right.
I'll get straight to business now. I'm aware you have a development center.
Yes.
Girls to Women Research and Development Center. What exactly is this initiative all about?
Well, Girls to Women Research and Development Center is a non-governmental organization that has a vision of a world with empowered women, not only women now, young girls and women. And I'm sure you agree with me, Mike, that when we have women who are empowered within our home settings, the home is balanced. They can make informed decisions. They can do the right thing at home. They can support their husbands better. They can support the society. They can play their role as taxpayers, as citizens of the country, and do it very well. So ours is a vision of empowering young girls and also empowering women to be able to overcome the life challenges and also to do well wherever they find themselves.
How old?
How old?
Are you?
We're 10 this year. Yes, we're 10 this year, and very soon we'll also invite you to attend the anniversary by December, by the grace of God.
Okay. Now, there are so many homes that are imbalanced at the moment, and the wives, they have a good job. Everything seems to be good before, and all of a sudden things start falling apart. Can you quickly highlight reasons why we have such homes?
Well, there are so many reasons why homes fall apart these days, and there's no reason is cast on there's no clear-cut reason for every home, because every home has their own different context. And that's why you can't say this is just the reason. But then on a general note, the economic downturn is one major problem that we have as a society. When we have fathers who are not functional, or when we have mothers who are not happy that they're not able to play their role as mothers, you have a lot of it leads to a lot of aggression, a lot of depression, and the aftermath is what you now see playing out in breaking up of homes, because the center cannot hold anymore. And also when you also have individuals who are not well groomed for their own roles. When you have male who feel like, yes, who are not, let me say, not well brought up. When I say well brought up now, it's not about you knowing how to respect others or frustrate and all of that, and but then also you should be also, as an individual, should be able to appreciate each person for who they are, appreciate the man for who the man is, appreciate the woman for who the man is, and also understand the power relations within your home setting and be able to work along with it. So when you now have imbalance in power within the home setting, it's always a problem. When somebody wants to exact too much power, or another one is too timid on the other side, it becomes a problem. So there are so many reasons why homes break up, but the main thing is that our focus really is to ensure that homes stay together, because it's only then that we can have children who grow up in homes that are settled and also grow up with that self-confidence that comes from coming from a home, not from a house.
Okay, you talked about empowerment minutes ago. What kind of empowerment are you talking about?
Well, talking about, there are various empowerment. You have empowerment of the mind, talking about building essential skills in the individuals, talking about financial empowerment when it comes to, and that's when it comes to support when need be, or linkages to financial aid when they need be. And also we also have skills empowerment when there are individuals that need skills to be built within them.
At your center, you do all of this?
At some we do some of this. Like for our center, we do quite a lot of we do a lot of mind empowerment. We do trainings for our women. We do counseling. We have counseling sessions with women every 2 days. There's hardly a week where we don't have women who come around either who have been abused by their husbands or who just find themselves in an abusive relationship one way or the other. And for these women, we counsel them. For some, for as many as possible, we try to salvage their homes by preferring the best solutions to their immediate problems. And for others, when the man is just impossible, then we link them also to legal aid, and that's why we also work closely with FIDA.
When does a man becomes impossible?
Yeah, there are men that are just impossible. Men who turn themselves into the alpha and omega of the.
Have you come across one?
Yes, I have many times. I've come across some that quite a number of them. A number of men who just believe that because they are the man, that no other person matters. A lot of men who believe that because they are the husband, that whatever they do to their wife, even if you strip the woman naked and beat her up and push her out, that she's your wife. And of course, every human being has a right. You can't just say because you're married and you paid a dowry that you can mistreat and do whatever you like with her. So there are men who are totally impossible. There are men who just want to come back home and have fun with their wives, and then when it's time for the bills, they just say, "Oh, sorry, my dear, I don't have money." There are men who just don't want to who don't want to play their parts as responsible men, who just want the fun of marriage, but not the work that comes with marriage. And so for such men, we also work with the women to see how we can also counsel the men. And when they be, we call in them the child care unit, and then we try and find legal solutions to whatever problems that comes up in such homes.
Okay, if you're just tuning in, this is Adaba 80.9 FM. Akura, the program is New Dawn. My guest this afternoon is Chief Mrs. Olamide Falana, the Executive Director, Girls to Women Research and Development Center. She is also a chieftain of the APC in Ondo State. So before we talk politics, I know you're a politician, and I never knew you have a center of this kind. Now, would you say last 9 years you've really achieved as an executive director of the center?
Yes. And for me, when I look at when I meet people who just come by and give their own personal testimonies, I feel fulfilled, and I tell myself, yes, we are achieving something. When I come across individuals who through our intervention have been saved from some ugly scenario, terrible situation, when I come across children that we've been able to put back to school, I feel fulfilled that yes, we are achieving the aim for which we actually established.
Do you do more on sensitization?
Yes, we do. We do across communities, and we also try to work in the locals, because we realize that a lot of things happens in various communities that you hardly even get to hear about in the city. So we also we do a lot of sensitization both in the urban centers and also in the communities.
Okay, a minute ago you did say it's an NGO. You in any way affiliated to any government organization or institution?
Government organization? Well, we statutorily we are supposed to all NGOs within the state, within every state, is affiliated to the Ministry of Women Affairs, because they are supposed to be like they're like an oversight. They have an oversight and function over non-government organizations. But beyond that, we also have linkages with other organizations across the states, across the country, both local and international. So that's just also about that.
Okay, now let's move straight to politics, and this is a question I want you to provide, since you once contested for the governorship position of the state before joining the APC. What informed your decision joining the APC?
Well, I joined the APC January 2018, and that was after deep thoughts about my political trajectory, and the need for me also to join a party that could be seen as more vibrant than the party under which I contested earlier. I know for sure that I wasn't able to do so well at the last contest because my party was not so well known, and I was a new party and was a small party as well. And so there was a need for me to also talk it out in the bigger party. Let's fight it out. Let's see let's just work it out in this big party, and that's why I crossed over to APC.
You have any intention of contesting again?
Yes, definitely, yes, by the grace of God.
Okay, because you want to achieve your aim or your goal under a bigger umbrella?
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about the APC. You think APC is a progressive party?
Well, the name is progressive, and I think, yes, the party is progressive.
Okay, now let's talk about internet democracy. One thing that affected development in terms of governance in both the state and the federal level Internet democracy, months ago, many would say, no, we do not have it in the major opposition party, that's the PDP. At the moment, your party, APC, seems there are issues. You think there is internet democracy in APC?
Now, there are always issues.
If you're to be sincere.
Yes, if I'm to be sincere, I think there are always issues in every party. There's no party that doesn't have its own.
Were there issues in your party before you joined the APC?
Well, yes, there were really no issues, but yes, there were issues. There were issues at the national of my party. There were also some at the local chapter. So there's no party that is devoid of issues. Every party has its own internal problem. But then there's also the need for us to also appreciate the fact that for every election there are always many sides. For every win or for every loss, it's not just about the person, the individual that is at the receiving end, or the name that is being called, but also the individual that surround such a ticket. So oftentimes when you are contesting or when you're in an election and you're picked as a flag bearer, and in your hand lies the destiny of so many others. And that's why parties find it difficult to just just throw away the chances they have at making better the lives of people that surround them, because they know that once you have a ticket in the wrong hand, it becomes a dangerous tool. But when you have it in the right hand, it becomes, everybody rejoices. People are happy. There's development. There is progress. There is victory, and there's nothing as sweet as the taste of victory in the mouth. So for me, I would say that every party has its own mechanism, for resolving crisis. APC had its share of crisis at the last general elections, and the party was able to resolve it one way or the other. And that's why at the moment you're not hearing at the national level of individuals who are so aggrieved. A lot of the aggrieved parties are being called together to round table to discuss and find a common ground. And that's why for every party there's always a leadership. The leadership, the caucus of the party are always there to ensure that the party stays together through thick and thin, because it's only when the parties together that they can actually be a clear-cut success and victory over our opponents.
Okay, now let's move ahead on this program. New Dawn, live on Adaba 2.9 FM. It's coming up to 14 minutes to 1 from our studios. So when Mr. President signed the Not Young Bill into law, many Nigerians commended the president. But then you think young individuals aspiring for these political offices, do you think they have a bigger hurdle? Because one, money, many of our young politicians do not have that money to spend. And many Nigerians will tell you, for you to win an election in Nigeria, you must have good money.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on that?
Well, I will say that we are getting there.
Getting there, how?
Yes, first we have the law, and that's an enabling environment that we require. I could recall that at the last election when I contested, some people raised the issue, she's that, she's that, and issues about age and all that. And I told them, well, if INEC doesn't disqualify me, then who are you? Because if why should anybody begin to raise brow after candidates have been ratified by the umpire? Now we're getting there because now we have the enabling law that allows young people to contest, unlike what we had in the past where there was a barrier. Now that we have the enabling law, now it's now time for communities to now begin to rally around their own people. Now, beyond the issue of money, there's also the human resources. And if elections are conducted in communities, if in this community we decide that we are floating this candidate, and all of us move out to surrounding communities and tell them we don't have money, but this is the candidate that we are supporting for so and so reasons, communities are willing to rally around their own and support them.
Even when there is no money.
Even when there is no money, we can actually get to that point. If you are able to mobilize your community well enough, and the community, and you have a high level of community acceptance, I can assure you that we can actually get over this hurdle of money. If churches, mosques, gathering students, rally around their own, we can actually have young people beginning to win elections even without all the money. And indeed, most of the money that we've been talking about, it is. It is quite achievable, and something that I believe that will happen at the next general elections, because people are beginning to see beyond this money. When we spend so much on election day, and a lot of funds do not go through bank, going through the back door and all of that, what do we get from it? Nothing. poor governance. We lose our right to even demand accountability from our leaders.
Is that what we have now?
Well, that's not what we have at the moment.
Okay.
Because I know that at the moment we have a good level of accountability, and we have a government that is working and doing their best to ensure that life is better for the people of Ondo State. But then on a general note now, when individuals begin to collect money from politicians at election, especially at polling units, you lose the right to make demands, and that is why a lot of people are being mobilized right now at the grassroots to see beyond money. And this is happening through associations. Talk about the religious bodies, talk about the student bodies, talk about the various communities, small communities that individuals belong to one way or the other.
Okay, let's move ahead. This is okay. Now, I don't know if you heard about the Fowoso project.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know if you've been following some of the activities. Many residents of Ondo State would say it's a good one. Some would say it's a not so good one.
Well, I'll say it's a good one.
Because?
Well, I know Fowoso is touching lives at the grassroots.
Because you are an APC stone?
No. For me, I try to be objective.
How has Fowoso touched lives?
I know that a number of women have benefited from the trainings at the local government. I'm aware that a lot of women have also benefited from the tools that have been given to them. A lot of people have benefited, from this one way or the other. So that's why I feel Fowoso is actually a good one. I'm also aware that the second annual conference of Fowoso is coming up very soon. So it's a good one. If we have a good initiative, we should just allow it to continue. If we have individuals who are being supported one way or the other, let it continue. And that's rather than saying that, I think Fowoso is really doing well.
If you're the first lady, would you have done better?
If I'm a first lady, well, for me, I didn't contest to be a first lady, but I contested to be the first person. So I will say that when we get there, we'll definitely cross the bridge.
Okay, I understand that response. Very tactical. Okay, now, would you say Mr. Governor Akiti has been gender friendly in his appointment of women in your party into political positions?
Well, the governor has appointed a number of women into his cabinet.
Few or many?
I'll say a number of women. But of course, we always ask for more. Because we know that at the moment we are yet to attain the 35% affirmative action. And we know that the more women we have, the better the lot of women. The more women you have, the more women who can mentor younger people, who can support their colleagues.
But we have them in Ondo State.
Women in the government? Yes, we do have women in government.
No, not women in government now. Women who can help make this administration thrive.
Yes, we do have them. Look at the government. We have credible women there. We have women who are holding key positions in the government. And I think they are doing very, very well. So I think the governor in his wisdom has appointed women who are like round peg in round holes. But of course, we always ask for more because we don't have enough. I know we can actually do better when we have more women. We can have more equitable, distribution of resources across board when we have more women. And that's why we keep saying that let's have more women in government. Let's have more women in meaningful key positions of leadership where they can actually shine, where they can be said to be tried, tested, and trusted even with bigger responsibilities in future.
Okay, because of our time, quickly, let's talk about Nigeria. My country, your country.
Yeah.
Recently, Nigeria was celebrated our 59th independence anniversary. Yes, it was a good one. A lot of celebrations here and there, though many would say it was at a very low. Would you say there are reasons why we should celebrate our independence?
Yes, there are reasons why we should celebrate.
And there are reasons why we shouldn't celebrate.
That we are here and that we are in this beautiful studio of Adaba is a reason why we should celebrate. If we had a prize and if we had civil war or something, we wouldn't be here. We won't be here in this beautiful, studio talking politics. So I think there are reasons why we should celebrate. There are so many reasons. And of course, there are reasons why we should celebrate on a low key because lots of lives have been lost unduly for just no reason. And this year actually calls for sober reflection because it calls for our government looking deeply into other ways, more innovative ways of resolving whatever crisis that we have, or resolving our problems of insurgency, or resolving overcoming our problems, across board. But then, on the whole, I'll say I'll still give Nigeria a pat on the back because we are not doing badly. 59 years, yes, for a nation, and a nation this big with these huge demographic problems,
still developing,
and
right?
still developing. Yeah, I think we are doing well, and I know that the world is only waiting for us to get it right. The moment we get it right, the whole of Africa gets it right.
And when Africa gets it right anytime soon.
We will. It's a gradual thing. Now look at what we have. I'll say this economic revolution that we have is a gradual thing. We may not get there in just one day. It may not be. It's not like a sprint. It's like a marathon. So it's a gradual thing. I know that gradually we will definitely get there. All we need to do is just keep it on, keep working hard at it without getting tired. And gradually, before we know it,
what do you foresee in a few years?
In a few years, I foresee Nigeria overcoming our power problem. And once we have power being resolved, you can be sure that the economy will definitely boost. There will be a boost in our economy because a lot of business will begin to thrive better. There will be lower costs of running business in the country. And when we have this lowered cost of running business, that also makes businesses more profitable. When businesses are more profitable, they can pay their staff better. They can do well. They can invest more in the economy. I see Nigeria taking that place. We already have the place anyway. Nobody can take it from us, the giant of Africa. But then I see Nigeria stamping our feet, and making a bigger mark, I would say, on the map of the world.
Okay,
on the globe.
In a few years, what exactly you foresee happening in Ondo State?
Well, Ondo gradually is moving towards economic revolution. We have a power station that is already functional. We have various industries coming into the state, and then by the time we also have our ports being opened, I see Ondo becoming a haven, changing overnight. So Ondo is a state with very huge prospects. Ondo is a state I'll still call Ondo like a virgin that is yet to be fully tapped. So Ondo is a state that has a lot of potential that is yet to be tapped into, and I know that we're gradually getting towards that, moving towards that desired destination, which is development and progress.
Okay, so in a nutshell now, on a final note, so what's your advice to the governed?
The government?
The governed.
The governed. Well, I advise the governed to always pray for the leaders. It's very important. And also that we should also, do the needful. We should see ourselves as the government ourselves, because we should always ask ourselves, if I were the government, what would I do? Would I dump waste indiscriminately on the street and say the government should come and pack it? If I were the governor, what would I do? Would I just walk away when I see a young girl being abused? What would I do? If I were the government, would I evade tax and do a number of things and feel nobody will catch me? We should put ourselves in the position of the leaders. So if you are a leader today, what would you do?
Okay, thank you very much for coming on this show. My guest today on New Dawn, Chief Mrs. Olamide Falana, the Executive Director, Guest Women Research and Development Center. She is also a chieftain of the APC in Ondo State. Thank you very much for coming on the program.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Next Wednesday, New Dawn will return. Remember, it's a program being supervised by Mr. Steve Otalero and Michael Akintunde by now.
It's New Dawn on the horizon of the All Progressives Congress Ondo State, where we are building an egalitarian society where people will be treated as equals, would treat one another as equals, would relate as equals, and enjoy an equality of social status of some sort. God bless you all for the sacrifice you've made in the last 2 years. It would speak volumes to the heart and the soul of this administration as it strives to bequeath us fully developed communities that work, one that would invariably determine and reshape the future of our dear Sunshine State. New Dawn. Think anew. Act anew.
Adaba 88.9 FM, your partner every day, all the way.